What's up, guys? Cool It here. Today we are going to be talking all about Fletcher, one of, if not my favorite mercs in Dirty Bomb. And he is also one of the engineer classes, one of the three that are currently in Dirty Bomb. And if you've not yet played this game, engineer basically means you can do objectives faster, whether that's arming or disarming C4 or repairing things throughout the map that will help your team progress through the map. And you can see why that would be incredibly useful and also incredibly fun to play. Now, Fletcher does have 110 health and a 420 speed rating, which puts him kind of in the middle of the pack of both. And that's another thing I actually like about Fletcher. He definitely doesn't feel slow when you're using him. Not by any means. Unless maybe you've been playing Aura for a couple hours straight or something. But he actually feels pretty speedy. And that 110 health is pretty nice as well, especially since you're going to be playing around the objectives a lot as Fletcher. You're going to be playing pretty close range for the most part, and just having that little bit of extra health plays a real pivotal role in what you're going to want to be doing with Fletcher. As for Fletcher's primary weapons, he has 3 available, just like every other merc in this game. He has 2 shotguns and a submachine gun, which we'll talk about first. The submachine gun is known as the Blishlock, and I think it's known as one of the worst guns in Dirty Bomb, and I can't say I really disagree with that. It's a really slow-firing gun. It only fires at 400 rounds per minute. Now, it does do a lot of damage at 18 damage per shot, but in a game like this where everybody's moving real fast, I really prefer that higher rate of fire. Even though you're going to do more damage per headshot with this gun, you have a higher chance of landing more headshots with one of the higher rate of fire weapons. So I'm not a big fan of this gun. Just a couple more stats. It does also have a low magazine of 30 rounds per mag, which is, always tends to come with higher damage guns. And it does have a slow reload of 1.9 seconds per reload. So not a very good gun in my opinion, and I won't be using this. I don't like it on Fletcher or Aura. Now, to talk about the 2 shotguns, he has a pump action known as the Holland's 880 and a lever action known as the Arnold 12. And that's obviously named after Arnold Schwarzenegger for Terminator 2, where he uses the lever action shotgun. But anyways, both of these are going to fire 11 projectiles per shot. The Holland's, however, is going to do 8 damage per projectile, and the Arnold's going to do 7 damage per projectile. So the Holland's there is going to do a maximum of 88 damage per shot, where the Arnold's going to do a maximum of 77 damage per shot. They both have the same rate of fire. The Holland's is going to reload faster, but the Arnold is going to have 1 more round per magazine. Now, going off those stats, the Holland's does sound better because of the extra damage. However, there's a couple stats we have not yet talked about, and mainly that is spread. I do not have stats for spread, but I do have stats for range, and I don't quite understand them as I've never actually seen range used as a stat for shotguns. Spread, however, is something that I've definitely seen used, and it definitely seems like the Arnold keeps a tighter pattern at longer ranges. And to me, I prefer the Arnold. I think it's just more versatile. I have no problems firing the Arnold at people from a good distance away, like assault rifle range, and still doing significant damage, whereas the Holland's just seems like anything beyond 10 feet, and you might as well be shooting Q-tips at them. So it's kind of a personal preference thing. If you want to be a little bit more versatile, I would say the Arnold 12 is better. If you're going to be up right in people's faces, I would say probably go with the Holland's 880, but I definitely prefer the Arnold 12 myself. As for Fletcher's secondary weapons, he has 1 revolver and 2 submachine guns. The revolver is the Simeon 357. It's going to do 25 damage per shot, 300 rounds per minute. It's going to hold 6 rounds per magazine and have a slow reload of 1.9 seconds. And this is the gun you're going to want to use if you prefer having to really be more accurate and just you think you can land them 1 or 2 shots that are needed, as opposed to just spraying and landing a bunch of shots, having the extra rounds, not having to be quite as accurate. Now, the 2 submachine guns are the Empire 9 and the Tolan MP. The Tolan MP is going to do 9 damage per shot. It's going to fire at 733 rounds per minute. It's going to have a reload of 1.8 seconds, and it's going to have a magazine size of 35. Now, I prefer the Empire 9 as my secondary, and luckily that is in the loadout that I use. And the Empire 9 is going to do a little less damage at 8 damage per shot, but it is going to have a higher rate of fire at 858 rounds per minute. It's going to have a magazine size of 40 and a reload time of 1.3 seconds. So it actually beats the Tolan MP in every category, really, except for damage, and you're only losing 1 damage per shot. Now, a lot of people have said that they don't like the primary weapons of Fletcher. If you don't like the Blishlock, which most people don't, and you don't like the shotguns, a lot of people will actually use the Empire 9 as a primary weapon. It's actually very, very comparable to the Hawkfur or Hotchfur, whatever you want to call it, which is a primary submachine gun for proxy and nadir. In fact, it's actually better in some categories. So if you don't like Fletcher's primaries, definitely run around with the Empire 9 out, and you're not going to really lose too much that, you know, some of the other mercs are going to have by using their primary, especially at close range. So that wraps up the weapons for Fletcher. Moving on to the rest of his kit. Fletcher has one ability, and in my opinion, probably one of the funnest abilities in the game, and that is sticky grenades. Now, you get 3 sticky grenades, and they do recharge really fast. You can only have a maximum of 3 sticky grenades down at one time. If you throw a 4th, that first one you threw will disappear. Now, these sticky grenades are only remotely detonated or detonated by collateral explosive damage or by shooting them. And this is kind of a catch-22, and the reason I say that is because the remote detonation makes them very nice for guarding objectives, for setting up a trap, for things like that, but it can hurt you a little bit in an actual firefight. If you're shooting at somebody and you just kind of want to throw a sticky grenade and, you know, have it go off without having to do anything else, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to spend that extra split second or second, or however long it takes to remotely detonate that, and that's going to take away from the time when you're actually firing your weapon. So just be aware of that when you're using sticky grenades in a firefight, that there is that time there where you have to throw, wait for it to arm, detonate, and you're not going to be able to use your weapon for a couple seconds. You'll get used to it after playing Fletcher for a little bit, and once you get used to that, they really become good for offense as well as defense, but it's just something to be aware of. For my suggested loadout, I'm going to recommend the A31 Guardian Close Assault. This does include the Arnold 12, the Empire 9 as your secondary, and the Beckel Combat Knife for your melee weapon. Now, the first augment on here is Lock On, and this basically turrets, mines, and other automated defenses react 30% more quickly, and this is basically a wasted augment at the moment. The reason this is on a Fletcher card is because Fletcher sticky grenades used to be sticky mines, and they have not yet changed this. Remember, this is beta, so this is a wasted augment slot. The reason I am recommending this loadout card, however, is for double time, and this allows you to reload while sprinting. One of the better augments in the game, in my opinion, and really that's the main reason, aside from having the Arnold 12 and the Empire 9 in this card. The third perk, or the third augment, is Tough, which reduces the delay until health regen starts by 33%. Nothing amazing, but still a nice little augment there as well. Now, if you are going with the Holland's 880 and you want that double time augment, the H63 standard close assault will have that. However, you're not going to get the Empire 9 with that. It does come with the Simeon 357. So you have to kind of make your decision there if you are going with the Holland's 880, if you want that double time, if it's worth giving up the Empire 9. But the A31 Guardian Close Assault is probably my recommended loadout card for Fletcher. So lastly, before I wrap this up, I just want to give a few tips on playing Fletcher, just a couple things that I've learned along the way. First of all, if you are using shotguns, this goes for anybody, not just Fletcher, but if you are using shotguns, you may often just try to go for center mass chest shots, because that's typically how I've always used shotguns in other first-person shooters. Not in Dirty Bomb. You still want to go for headshots. Once I kind of figured that out is when shotguns started becoming a lot better to me. When I first started playing Dirty Bomb, I couldn't figure out why I was getting such crappy time to kill. It was taking me forever, and people were like just kicking the crap out of me with shotguns, and that's really the reason why. You really want to go for headshots even while using these shotguns. Another tip is, once you've actually armed a bomb and say you've set up a trap on where you have your C4 placed or whatever, you don't have to stay in sight of that to know if they are disarming. In Dirty Bomb, the objective, it'll show you that it's armed, and it'll show you if they are disarmed. You can see that through walls, so you can lay your trap, move around, you know, behind an obstacle or into another room, and hopefully they don't hit your sticky grenades. They come up, try to disarm, and then you can detonate your sticky bombs, blow them up, and then go set new ones. Now, just be aware, if you are doing this, oftentimes they might see your sticky grenades before they run in there. They might blow them up, then they'll start to disarm. Just be aware that you might have to run in and actually reapply sticky grenades on them, or just take them out with your other weapons. One thing that's nice about this game for Fletcher is that a lot of the objectives will put a person in a tight spot, and you can get a lot of splash damage from your sticky grenades, or it'll give you an easier chance to actually stick them. And remember, if they are disarming a bomb, a lot of the times they're going to be completely stationary, which gives you a good opportunity to stick somebody. So just a couple tips there as I wrap this up. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if I forgot something, which I always do. Post it in the comment section for other people to see, because really this is just kind of a educational video for newer players. And let me know if there's any way I can improve these videos, because I'm going to be making these probably on every merc in the game. So anyways, guys, that is all I have. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.